Hello, everybody. So if you're catching the replay, then just hashtag replay, and I'd love to be able to hear from you. And so today is our very first Wellness Wednesday in this group. And so I'm really excited to be able to do this with you. And so I listed the topics earlier on in the month, and so I also have event pages that are actually created specifically and only for this group. So any of these topics are only provided to any members of this particular group. And so this particular topic is coming up because of the I chose this particular topic because of the retreat. So when we had the retreat over the last, I guess it was 2 weekends ago now. So on the weekend of the 21st of September was our inner goddess, our inner nurture our inner child retreat. And so during that retreat, one of the things that that came up and that came up for some is the connection with or actually the disconnect, right? So the fear of actually disconnecting from ourselves. And so because this particular group has people that have experienced trauma, this may be something that may come up for people. So which is why I put anchoring and grounding, because I'm going to actually touch on both. So because the anchoring can still be even if you don't disassociate. So it is still something that you can actually do either way. So one of the things that that can happen with people who start to re-experience trauma. So if flashbacks are starting to happen or things are coming up for them, then there is a possibility that that sometimes for some people, and this isn't for everybody, but sometimes for some people, is they will actually disassociate. And so one of the meditations that I do is and it's not disassociating, but it gives you that same concept of disassociating. And so, but you're not disassociated. So like there's a difference. But in terms of the experience is very similar to that disassociation, or at least it is for the clients that I've actually worked with. So the clients that I've worked with specifically leave their body, and most of them just kind of oversee what it is that's going on. So their body is down and in the present, but they can actually see what it is that's going on. And so one of the meditations that that I do with people is us being able to but it's not necessarily leaving our body to be able to oversee what it is that our physical body is doing, but it is us being able to go out into the universe, and allows us to be able to reach the sky, reach the clouds, reach the float over the trees, and that kind of thing, giving us a different kind of experience in a meditation. But for someone who is disassociating, this is very traumatic because or can be very traumatic. I won't say it is, because it's not necessarily for everybody, but it can be very traumatic of when you are doing a meditation that is allowing you to disconnect from your physical self, can sometimes trigger that fear of, if I'm disconnecting, then I'm actually I'm leaving my body because there's something wrong that's going on. And so if ever that you are in a meditation that allows you, or that is guiding you to being able to do that, one of the things that I want to be able to do is teach you how to be able to anchor, right? So being able to anchor allows you to be able to stay connected. And it's another form of grounding. And so, so if ever that you're in a meditation or you're ever in a position or a situation where you are feeling like I'm losing control and I'm not where I'm supposed to be, then one of the things that you do is referred to as anchoring, where you actually connect. You connect to where you are right this second. And so it's bringing your awareness back to the sensations that you're actually feeling in your body, what it is that's actually happening to you in your body, and just really being aware of one of the things that's going on. So one of the strategies that's the easiest, I think is the easiest, is to bring your awareness back to your breath. So if ever that you are losing anything, whether it is through meditation or anxiety is sinking in or something is happening, being able to reconnect to your breath allows you to be able to just be in that moment, in that because we're always breathing, right? So, and if we're not breathing, bringing our awareness back to our breath means that allows us to actually be back to breathing. So, so that is something that is like extremely important, or at least it is important to me to be able to help people get back into that space. And so just bringing your awareness back to your breath is just allows you to be able to just be present and being able to be in your own body. So I'm going to invite you to close your eyes. So just close your eyes and just get comfortable wherever it is that you're seated. And just notice your breath. Don't do anything different. Is your breath shallow? Is your breath heavy? Are you breathing into the top part of your chest? Are you breathing into your belly? Can you feel your rib cages expand? Just notice where your breath is. Notice if you're breathing through your nose or breathing through your mouth. There's no right way and there's no wrong way, just whatever way that your breath is taking you. Now I want you to bring your awareness to the rhythm of your heart. Is your heart beating fast? Is it slow and steady? Can you feel your heartbeat in your chest? Or can you feel the pulsing in one of your veins? I want you to connect with the rest of your body. So whether it is that you are seated and you can feel the weight of your butt on the chair, or if you're lying down, feel the weight of your body on the bed or on the floor. Just bring your awareness to your muscles. Notice if you have any aches or pains. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Okay, so that is just being able to get present and getting connected to your own body. And so that is something that is helpful. Another way of being able to anchor is having something that you can actually fidget with. So it could be a stone, it could be the sensations of your fingernails, right? So just being able to just be aware of what's going on and feeling the connection of your nails, just rubbing on your hand, but very gently so that you're not actually harming yourself and you're not scratching yourself. You're just literally just feeling the nails just touching your finger. Okay, so again, very gentle. It's just a way of being able to create an awareness. Okay, and another way of doing it is actually being able to have the sensation of both of your hands, right? So being able to feel your hands, massaging your hands, whatever it is that you need to be doing, playing with a ring, right? So whatever it is that allows you to be able to notice. Another way of being able to stay grounded and staying connected is just massaging your ear. And I know that there's a lot of benefits to massaging your ear. And for those of you who are local, we actually have somebody coming in June that's actually going to be teaching us more about auricular acupressure and showing us what it is that we need to be doing. But just being able to just be aware of your ears. And one of the things that with the ears that's really interesting is that oftentimes we see little kids doing it, right? So little kids will automatically, oftentimes will just start playing and soothing themselves with playing with their ear. As we get older, we tend to not be playing with our ear, but it is something that is just extremely relaxing and just being able to be grounded and helping us being able to connect. Hey, Nikki. So, so those are other ways of being able to anchor. And so just being able to feel in this present and allowing us to be able to stay present and staying connected to where we are right now. And so this is something that is extremely helpful, like I said, when somebody is starting to disassociate. Sounds good, Nikki. I was doing a little bit of anchoring. So, and so this is will actually allow us to be able to just stay present in the moment. So if we are disassociating or we are disconnecting, and like I said, if you've got a meditation that is asking you to disassociate, but it's actually bringing up some fears or some, you need anchoring right now. So that is, so one of the things is that I didn't talk about already is that we actually have our, in the center of our hand is our, oh, I can't even remember what our solar plexus, I think it's called, in the center of our hand, and that is a really good place of us being able to help us stay grounded, stay anchored, and because it just helps us to, and so just being able to, and this is a reflexology technique that a friend had taught me, is just being able to just massage into that part of things. And another way of being able to do it is just massaging the rest of your hand, right? So there's no, again, there's no right way and wrong way, but being able to find that pressure point in the center of our hand allows us to be able to just decompress and get back into the here and now. So if I'm doing a presentation, I oftentimes play with my hands. And so and that is, those are from the different pressure points and stuff that people have taught me over the years. So if I am getting more nervous or whatever, then I oftentimes will just kind of just take a second and just hold on to my hand, and it just allows things to be able to relax. There's a pressure point in your foot that is the same pressure point, and but that one there's just a little bit more obvious. It's like taking off your shoes and like so that one there is a little bit that one there is a little bit more challenging. But just being able to just allow us to be able to bringing our awareness back to the present is one of the things that's really important. And so like I said, so long as we're not doing anything that is actually hurting ourselves, so like that sensation with our fingers, rubbing the ears, that pressure point, rubbing our hands and fingers, and being able to, like, if we are in a meditation or we're in a situation where we can actually just bring our awareness back to where our body sits. And so that is a strategy, and that's a technique that I said, like I said at the beginning, is that I wanted to be able to bring that for, because of the experience that Summer had at the retreat, is that when we were actually starting to go into the grounding or into the meditations, and as we were going into the meditations, had to actually pull themselves out of the meditations for fear that they were starting to disassociate, because they could actually feel that. And that is trauma-based. That is coming from of the fear of going back into the situation, or back into the flashbacks. And it allows you to be able to, so if you can actually find a way of anchoring when you're feeling good, and that is the point, that's the point that's really, really important, is being able to do it when you're feeling good. Because if you wait until you're not doing well, then that's one of the things that will happen, is that you're not going to necessarily be able to, it'll take you longer to recover, it'll take you more, it'll just be more challenging. And so just really important for you to be able to just bring that awareness back to your body. And before doing anything, or before having anything, is just being able to ground. And so another way of being able to anchor is, so if you're in the middle of a meditation, for example, or if you wake up and you've had a panic attack, or you're in a situation where you're having a panic attack, so like wherever it is that you are and something has actually triggered you, is another way of being able to anchor, is starting to name 5 things that are actually, that you see. So what are 5 things that you actually see around the room? What are 5 feelings or sensations that you can actually feel? So like the wind blowing, what your feet feel like. So are your feet hot, cold? Are you feeling chilled? Can you feel the clothing on your body? Anything like that, that allows you to be able to just, again, being able to be present. Another thing that you can do is, what are the things that you hear, right? So like I can hear my dog snorting in the background. So just those kinds of things that are actually going on and what's happening, to allow you that, that part of things. And just being able to just use your senses, use your senses. What are some of the things that you smell, right? So again, bringing you back to the present, because all of when we've experienced trauma, one of the things that happens is that it takes us back to that moment. So if we can bring ourselves back to what do we smell right now? What do we see right now? What do we feel right now? And just being able to bringing ourselves back to, what is our body feeling like? What is it that's actually happening? Can we feel aches and pains? Whatever it is that is going on in this particular present moment. And so one of the most important things is opening your eyes, right? So it doesn't matter where it is that you are, what it is that you're doing. So like if you're waking up in that panic, of being able to just come back to like opening your eyes, so that you can actually see, what is it that you see? What do you feel? What do you hear? Right? So just allowing you to be able to do that is something that's really helpful. And so being able to ground, you probably have had a lot of different experiences with grounding. And so grounding, again, is just being able to just be in this space and just be connected. And so it could be with your eyes open. It could be with your eyes closed. It could be with your gaze lowered. It could be whatever it is that works for you. And so being able to, the easiest that you can actually connect to the ground, or the easiest of grounding, is that if you can actually physically connect to the ground. So being able to put your feet on the floor. If you're lying down, being able to feel the the weight, your weight, actually connecting to whatever it is that you're sitting on or lying on, just being able to feel that weight. So what is it that it's feeling like? So a lot of times if I'm sitting on something, grounding with my feet is really difficult because most of the time I can't reach the floor. So finding a way of you being able to connect, and if you can't physically connect to the floor, being able to envision your legs growing and reaching the floor and connecting. And that is another way of us being able to be grounded and being connected. And so yeah, if you have any suggestions of things that work for you, then feel free to share that information. One of the other things too is that I've had conversations with different women who've said, you know what, I can't meditate. I have a really hard time meditating. But I do really well if I'm lying on the grass staring at the clouds going by. That's meditating, right? So that is meditating, that is grounding, that is soothing. Some people will say, you know what, I can't do anything. I can't meditate, but I can actually clear my head if I go for a walk in the forest. Again, that's meditating, right? So just being able to accept the different ways of being able to do it and not thinking that it's wrong, right? So one of the things that we experience when we've experienced different kinds of trauma, or that we suffer from anxiety, or that we struggle with depression, whatever it is that's going on, we think that there's a perfect way of being able to do it, and that if we don't do it the way that somebody is instructing us to do it, then it's wrong, and that's not true. And so there's a lot of ways of being able to do it. There's a lot of ways of being able to connect and do the things that you are wanting to do to be able to get yourself back into where you are right now. And so it could be that you are doing that you're taking deeper breaths. It could be that you are taking deeper things. And one of the things that I'm going to say right now that has nothing to do with this topic is, when you guys are watching this video, can you tell me if you guys are seeing like little sparks of lights that are floating around? Because every video that I have done today, there are little lights that I'm seeing, and maybe it's not. And even when I watch the replays, I'm seeing these little lights. So I'm asking you guys, are you seeing little lights periodically? So that's been twice or 3 times now that I've seen it in this video. So twice for sure. And just before I actually said that. So so if you're noticing, can you let me know? If I'm just wondering whether or not there is some energy that is like surfacing in my room that I need to be aware of. So if if you're noticing that, can you let me know? I'm really curious. So I'm not fearful, so it's not anything that I'm thinking that there's like some bad things that are actually going on in my house. I'm very connected to fairies, and I'm sensing that there are that there's some heightened fairy energy going on right now. And maybe that's not, and maybe I'm just seeing things, and maybe I'm just sensing things. So I'm just asking, if you guys notice anything, can you let me know? Because I'd really like to know. But anyway, if you guys have any questions, if you guys have any suggestions, if you guys have something that works for you, then share it. Share it in here, because what it is that works for you might be really helpful for someone else who's been struggling. Something that you share, maybe something that's going to be really helpful to the person who is going like, I don't know, really, maybe crazy, right? So so we have a lot of self-doubt, and we have a lot of struggles with that. And so, like I said, the reason why I picked this particular topic when I was choosing topics after I came back from the retreat is because I wanted to be able to it was just a reminder to me that sometimes people have that disassociation and really struggle with being able to come back into anchoring. And although meditation is something that's really helpful, sometimes that's not what it is that they need to be doing. So just wanted to put that out there and be able to share that. So hope that was helpful. And like I said, if you have any feedback, if you have any suggestions, love to be able to hear them. And if you are seeing little tiny specks of, and it's usually over in this, I'm seeing it over in the, ooh, go too far, over in this area. So it's usually kind of going this in from here to this. I'm having trouble doing this with my arm. No, going up this way. There. I hate this Facebook Live thing because it's always backwards to when I'm trying to move things. Like even with my hair, it's like, I'm going to move it this way. It's like, no, I want to move it that way. So, yeah, so Facebook Live videos are always backwards. Anyway, so if you have any suggestions, now that I've got my hair all wonky, not that it wasn't wonky before with my curly hair, but if you have any questions, any suggestions, anything that works for you, then give me some feedback. So I would love to be able to hear from you. Bye for now, and I'll see you guys next Wednesday.